Hi everyone, this is Deb. I'm here for the hashtag Be Creative for the month of April. This is an open collab hosted by Tapping Flamingo, aka the Bohemian Hippie. Her name is Terry Jeanette. Hello, how are you? Anyway, our theme word this month is grow. And I'm going to do a couple different things, only one on this channel. Friday, I went to a place sort of near me called Longwood Gardens. It's a place where you can go and walk around acres and acres of beautiful plantings. There's a conservatory you can go through. At certain times, there's fountain displays. There were none when we were there, but the tulip displays were beautiful, and the blossoming cherry trees, cherry blossoms, and or pink dogwoods, and there might have been a white one or two. I don't think they were the dogwoods though, because my dogwood is just now starting to bloom, and they're not that far south of where I live, so I think it was the cherry trees. I don't have a cherry tree, and I love how they look. Anyway, I was digging through my stencils for something entirely different, and I found out I have had this blossom. It's called a layering stencil, but there's only one stencil. And this was gifted to me by Alicia Healy in January 2018, and I don't remember ever using this. So thank you, Alicia. I don't know if she's on, I'm not sure which Alicia that is. I'm using the scrapbook.com transparent mat. It's a sticky mat. I've already taken this stuff off. I am going to, and I've already done this once, and I had a little bit of a fail for a reason. Anyway, I'll show you that. It was a piece of cardboard that was off packaging from, I think, stickers or something. So it's shiny, and I was too lazy to, first of all, put gesso on it. I did color the background, which we're going to do on here too, a little differently. And I did heat dry it, and I'm using Altenew crisp dye inks and a little bit of milk chocolate, My Favorite Things ink. I am using for the pink, I'm using the brush I got off Amazon in a pack of 20. They're eyelash cleaner brushes. They're fabulous. They work great. I'm using this one, Stampin' Up! One, but I'm going to use Altenew, just stuck my finger in it, Eastern Sky dye ink. And then I'm going to use Altenew, the smallest detail blending brush. They come in a pack of, it's number 5. They come in a pack of 3. I didn't even realize they were numbered. Anyway, it's the smallest of the 3, and that's for the branches, mostly, and the leaves. I think I did it, and I wanted it to have some brown and some green, but the ink didn't dry real good at first. I had to heat dry it. I'm hoping I don't have to do that this time. And on this one, I had it wide, and I actually ran it through my die cut machine with a border die, thinking I could center this one in the middle, and I sort of did, but then I got a point over here. And also when I ran it through, I ripped part of it over here, so I had to cut it down, and I just think it looks weird now, so I'm not using it. So I made this one 2 inches but long, and I used a punch. This is heavy cardstock, but it's 2 pieces glued together because I wanted it to be nice and thick. And this, I think, is a retired punch called Fancy Tag Topper, like my favorite tag punch. In fact, I think it's the only one I have now. So I'm going to use that, and I thought when we get down here, I'm going to put some clouds in the background. So let's get started. We're using Eastern Sky from Altenew, and I'm just going to, now see, I did this part. I'm going to do this part on paper, scrap paper, because I just don't want to get my mat all messed up already, right? And this is a nice pale blue, like a sky, eastern sky, and I'm on the east coast of the U.S., sort of. I'm in southeastern Pennsylvania, if you are familiar. Oh, yeah, see, this is where... All right, never mind, we'll get the mat dirty. So, let's see. We're going to go like this, and that'll hold that in place, too. But what I don't have is a sheet to... I still want a sheet off to the side to try and brush off some of the dark, you know? And let's go over that up there. And I don't want the clouds to be terribly prominent, just a little bit in the background. All right. We'll come down here and maybe go over a little. And this I made from a border die from Stampin' Up. It's in their basic border set. I think that's carrying over into the new catalog if I'm not mistaken. And one more we'll just do down here at the bottom. I think because these are little cubes, when you first dip your brush in, you get a lot of ink, so you do either have to go off to the side or something, because you get sort of splotchy like I got up here. Let's see if we can do something with that splotchiness there and blend it out a little bit or something. I'm probably going to be covering. I'm just going to go over this all. Yeah, see, the problem is the mat is not sticky on the back. I'm going to kind of go over all of it with blue and kind of fade those out a little bit, I hope. Yeah, I don't know. It's all right. It's all good. Okay, that's enough of that. And I'm going to move this out of the way then and put that brush away. So now I'm going to actually leave this sheet here off to the side and maybe even tack it there so I don't lose it. Now let's bring in the stencil. The nice part about this is the stencil is wider and it stays in place. So let's see where we want to be with this. Do I want pink over that? Or maybe like that? I think like that. I originally had the branch, more branch on. I do want more branch on there too. All right. But I can maybe come... Let's go like that. I'll just leave that part pale blue. Okay, so I think what I did first, let me close my blue ink. I'm going to use this. I'm only using fresh leaf. I'll put more on this. And we're going to do the leaves. I had a little bit of trouble distinguishing leaves from flowers in some cases, but I can see some here. And I'm going to go ahead and make color in a little green. And I think this is a leaf too, but yeah, I'm not positive. Those look like flowers to me. So this is nice. If you don't have this, you could use like a Q-tip or something, I think would work also, you know. Now because we have that blue in the background, it is a dye ink. It should have dried pretty quickly, but it might make the colors a little different. And you know what? I think I'm okay with that. There's a little bit of stem looking stuff here. Yeah, see, this looks like a leaf too, but I'm not 100% sure. And that looks like flower. Okay, but then this looks like leaf, and I don't think it is. I'm just not sure. Anyway, we're going to go over some of these longer stems with the milk chocolate too. And I think this is a leaf. And I'm okay if I get color variations in it, because that's nature, right? You get color variations in nature as well. this whole thing here looks like a leaf cluster. And all the way up to here, right there. And maybe this. So if you don't brush it off, you do get a little darker color. But I'm alright with that, like I said. This looks like more leaf here than flower, just a little flower on the top. Okay. So I'm just making a tag or bookmark, whatever you want to call it. That's all we're going to do with the green. Let me bring in the milk chocolate and we'll finish the stems. So I'm going to take the pointy part of this. I don't know if you can see. And I don't care that the green's on there because I'm going over where the green is. And I'm just going over some of these stemmy bits. Because I don't know about your trees and stuff, but like the little part that comes up off the stem is green, but then it's coming up off a branch, right? Like this longer part usually has a little brown mixed in with it. And yeah. And I think that, oh, nope, one more. Now you could mask off your flowers and things, but honestly, I am not worrying about it. There's too many on here. All right, I'm going to sit that down. So now I'm going to start with baby pink. These two colors came in a set of 3 pinks and 3 greens. I think it was called Spring Bouquet. I'm not sure it's still available. You'd have to check the Altenew website, but when I got it, I felt like a good deal. We're going to get a little purple effect here because of that blue under there. Unless I bring in the darker pink, which I'm going to, and you'll see that in a minute. We're getting some purple. I love doing this. This is just fun, you know, and it's fast, and there's no stamping. So if you don't want to invest in stamps and things, I would suggest you invest in some stencils. Because especially layering stencils that have multiple layers, like several different companies do. Altenew, Spellbinders, I'm sure I'm missing some. And like I said, this one's called a layering stencil, but there's no second piece specific to it. I'm going to get a little darker right there. And this is just the baby pink so far. And you can get a totally different effect by just pouncing too with these little makeup brushes. I kind of like that actually, especially in small areas like this where you don't necessarily want a little brushy effect. Anyway. And down here is the last one. I missed a tiny little bit of stem there going off the page. Let me bring that brush back. See if there's any color left on it. Yep. Just a little bit. All right. So this, we're getting a little purpley effect here too. That's actually kind of cool. I should have thought of that and known that would happen. I'm kind of wanting the outer petals on these to be a little lighter. All right. That's all I'm going to do with baby pink. I'm going to use the pink brush still. I'm going to bring in the second color I had, which is fuchsia. And I'm going to do the dabbing effect here and pounce right around where the stems are meeting in. And then kind of go up the flower. And this one I'll put a lot of pink on. And that way you get some color variation on your cherry blossoms. Of course, we have a little more variation on these because they got the purpley look. I'm okay with that. All right, I think that's about it. So you can kind of go in a circular motion. You can pounce and come back and do circular, like what I'm doing now, to blend them in a little bit. All right, let's see what it looks like. Let me close the ink and pull up the stencil. I love that it stays stuck and my mat is pretty. Oh, isn't that pretty? I just want to bring in that blue brush and maybe do a tiny bit more blue up here on the top. I love the cloudy look behind it, actually. Isn't that pretty? Let me brush this off because it's going to be too dark. And just go around this edge a little bit. In fact, I'm going to lift this up. It's really stuck, see? But it doesn't tear your paper. I bought one other one and it did tear my paper. Twice. I tried it twice and I just finally gave up on it. So I don't know what it was with that one. Alright, I'm just going to go around the edges and not try and do what I just started to try and do, which was go over some of the flowers because I really don't want to do that. So I am really having a blast playing with stencils. Now I'll probably stamp something on here or put a sentiment or something. So I'm going to put you on pause and I'll go see what I can find.